You're hanging out with me, Adele Onyango and Shafi, where we're on Breakfast with the Stars. And super excited to hear the journey of today's star, because first and foremost, Shafi has told me so much about him, and then I've just found out that he reps Langata like me. And you know, Langata, only great people come from Langata. We have
South Sea.
DJ Topdonn in studio.
Good morning. Good morning, my people.
How you doing?
I am doing good after that traffic escapade I just had.
Were you coming from Langata?
From Hurlingham.
I came from Hurlingham.
What route did you use? James Gishuru, or you came from
I need to counter check with the Uber driver.
No, but you know, sometimes they take the longer
route so that they make more money.
That's not quite.
But either way, there's so much traffic jam this morning, yo.
Oh my God. However, how are you doing?
I am doing great. I've been on vacation, obviously.
Yeah.
A working vacation.
Yeah.
I've been here for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm actually leaving today back to my quote-unquote home.
Okay, which is where?
Which I live in Chicago.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Kenyan repping in Chicago and really, really doing great things for the 254. To Team
His neighbors with Obama.
It's actually a true statement.
True statement. Obama's from Chicago.
Okay,
no,
no, I thought as his neighbors. You know, when you tell a Jango
like,
that,
really,
I wanted to be like when he funguas his curtains in the morning and on Michelle, Nini. Not like that.
Area code moja.
Yeah.
Like you and him, like in LA.
Okay, cool. All right, but there's so much that you're doing, because I was reading up on you. But so we call you DJ Topdonn, but there's so much more that you're doing. Could you just give us a brief intro?
Right. So, other than just being the DJ aspect of it, we have a company that I'm rapping today. It's called Aphrodisiac Management Group.
Yeah.
That I co-founded with a partner of mine, back in Chicago. He's from Cameroon.
Yeah.
Shout out my boy, Aurelian PV. So we do a couple of things, trying to move, pretty much move African entertainment into the mainstream. We've been doing that for a long time. We just had our 12th-year anniversary.
What?
Yes,
Yo.
Last August. So we've been trying to push the African culture aspect, especially abroad, for a very long time.
Yeah.
I mean, like right now is when it's really picking up steam. You can see a lot of things are happening that are really, really dope for music from the African continent right now. Yeah. So we've been on that journey for a long time.
Yeah, because I'm thinking 12 years ago, nobody was like, now they're paying attention, but 12 years ago, were they really?
Wizkid is performing at the Coachella.
Yeah, I mean, now.
Before, the closest thing that came to like African culture at the Coachella were the reggae artists from Jamaica.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's Caribbean. That's not African.
Yes.
Okay, but it started off with DJ.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to the beginning of your journey. How did you jump into that?
I think it just happened naturally.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys. My mom had tons and tons of records growing up, like pretty much similar to I think most of us here.
Yeah.
Growing up in that era, you would have vinyl lying around everywhere, and that's just what I was into as a kid. I still actually have some of her records, which is funny, and they're in tip-top shape.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. So yeah, I went to when I left here quite a while back in college, that I started doing that. Just I thought at first it was just a hobby, but it turned out that I was given a God-given talent. I was actually pretty good at doing what I did, so I turned that into a business, and it's worked out really well for me, actually. So I thank God for that.
And how did your folks take it? Because I remember when I was in high school, there's one term we did all of the subjects, and then the term that we were meant to decide, I was like, now I'm dropping everything. I'm going to take music. I sent my mom an SMS. I'm going to take music because I can be the next Beyonce. No, I told her Beyonce. I'm like, if we go and read up on this chick called Beyonce, I can be her. And I can't tell you the SMS I got in return. But how did your folks take?
So the interesting thing is they actually never knew, because I was already gone, right? So I was gone already.
Yeah.
It's just later on in life, we're like, yo, we keep hearing about you doing stuff out there.
Yeah.
You've got this moniker name.
Yeah.
Your name is Topdonn. I'm like, okay, I guess the word is out. So they really had no, no bearing each way. Or either way, because they were not really there. When you're that far away, really, it's just they hear about it.
You can get away with
You can get away with doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things.
All right. So we have DJ Topdonn in studio, especially Team Adele and Team Shafi members who really want to jump into the entertainment business. This is your opportunity to ask any questions whatsoever, or maybe you're a budding musician and you're just thinking, how can I get to that global level? Same more is on the way. But we also have a star on Breakfast Breakfast with the Stars, DJ Topdonn is in studio, and he is one half of the Aphrodisiac Management Group based in Chicago, but of course he's repping the 254, 12 years in the game, okay? Now, back in the day, not many people, right now, everybody's like, Africa is a wave, people are paying attention to us, yay! But even 5 years ago, I don't think it was this big.
No, absolutely not. I remember when we first started out, so the initial brand, Aphrodisiac itself, was a concept to actually just put out nothing but music from the African continent alone. Yeah. So you'd have an event where it was only African music.
Yeah.
And that was kind of weird at that time, because that was from in 2005/2006. First of all, even getting content alone, whereby you could go, I could play 8 hours of straight African music. Remember at that time there was no P Square, there was no D'banj, no Wiz, nothing like that.
And even just the internet, like being able to be connected to the African artists, like now you can get stuff much easier, you know what I mean?
Exactly. You actually had to dig and really be a music connoisseur to be able to pull that off. So at first it was like, it was a little different, because people, like, especially coming from my background at that time when I was in Chicago, I was actually doing a lot of urban events. So playing, R&B and hip hop with regular DJs from stations there. Yeah. And then completely flipping the script and moving and just saying, okay, fine, there's this market that needs to be satisfied. Yeah. And let me go ahead and give it a try. So when I did, it actually worked really well. But again, it took a lot of time to be able to just find the right balance, finding music from different countries. Because remember, even though yes, I'm repping 254 every day, there's tons of other Africans out there. So you have to dig and say, okay, this guy's from Rwanda, what is popping in Rwanda, what is hot in TZ, what is hot here, and also what is hot on in the Francophone part of Africa. Because one thing I find here, especially for us, so obviously it's Anglophone, but it's very few Anglophone records cross over. Here, I can mention maybe one or two in the entire. I've been here 3 times. It's this within a very short period of time. And you don't get to hear any of that. So it's really funny, because even though we don't really hear that here or don't really follow it as much, when you go out there, you have to know what's up. You have to know what's hot, and you have to follow that. So that was my biggest challenge, actually.
Let's talk about Kenyan music, because I know there's now a conversation, as much as everybody's celebrating that, yes, everybody's looking at African music, it's about time, but most of the time you only hear West African names popping, all right, outside of Africa. And so what about Kenyan music? Do you feel like it is popping? Maybe we're not seeing that from this side, or how do we get into that level?
That's a very loaded question. How much time do you have?
It can take the whole day.
It can honestly take the whole day, but I mean, just to sum it up, my view is that there is a lot of good talent here. That obviously comes up with the surface. I see a photo of Victoria Kimani. She's doing really big things. Obviously, our boy Sauti Sol are right there on par with the best in Africa. But we need to do better. There's no other way to put it out there. There's talent down here. Why it doesn't bubble up to the surface is something I've been trying to find out every single time I come out here. I don't know if it is just lack of the producers that are putting the music out there. I don't think so, though. Because when I go to different production houses, I was at Decimal Records with Musyoka just on Saturday. And I trust me, there's like some crazy stuff about to come out like from that stable. And I've traveled around and I've seen that. I mean, stuff with Pacho, with Nando and his guys. So that is there. What I think ails us is the mentality that, okay, meaning Kenya, right? And if I do a song, I just want it just to be really good here with my guys in Kenya. What they have to realize is that this is a global market. You're not just making music just for Kenya. By the time a song comes out, somebody in Ghana or in Thailand or in Japan can go to the internet and search your song and say, hey, this is a really dope Afrobeat track. So I think the biggest thing is opening up your mind and saying, what am I competing against? If you're making a song here, when Sauti Sol do a track, they know that they're not competing against your other Kenyan artist here. You're competing on a global level, right? So your Wizkids, your Davidos, your Pato Ranking, Tiwa, and that's the level they're on. So I think for other artists here within Kenya need to look at sort of the blueprint that has been laid, and the consistency and the actual management of music as a business.
Because a song is a product, and you've got to market it globally. So in the next 4 minutes, what I really want to know is this journey that is Aphrodisiac. You know, yesterday we were talking about entrepreneurship and how glamorous it looks from the outside, but inside it's not that easy, man. So of course we want to know what you've learned on that journey and what you can share with us right here on Kids FM. But before we do that, here's first I thought it was just Aphrodisiac TV. Then I was like, okay, there's a lot more. So what are the other channels that you guys have?
There's different things we do. Obviously, our staple is our brand, which is Aphrodisiac, which is the event we've been holding now 12 years, longest running Afro-urban event in the entire Midwest. So not just Chicago, I'm talking about Ohio, all of Indiana, all of that, all of those states. So we've been the event that has been running longest and most consistent. So we're very proud about that. Obviously, we have Aphrodisiac TV that is involved in different projects here with artists locally there in Chicago, and then we have the booking agency part of it as well. So booking artists, especially American artists, booking them for clients here in Kenya and actually all through Africa. We've done it in Africa as well. We were actually just here in June with Omarion for a client here.
Okay,
so that was good. And in addition to that, we're also now starting off our own label that we have artists that we work with, that we want mentor, and then also mentor, manage, and just use our connections that we've had to try and bolster them and pull them up as well. We have an artist from Burundi who's actually it's interesting. He's actually from Burundi but lived in Kenya for a little while.
Oh, dope.
He was actually part of he was here when they had the refugee crisis in '94, I believe, right?
Okay.
Right. So he was still a young kid then, but they actually ended up moving as a refugee and came to Chicago. Speaks fluent Swahili, by the way, which is pretty good. So we have him. His name is Ame M. He's one of the artists under our label. We have a lady from Madagascar. Her name is Tense Mena. She's doing a couple of big things in Madagascar. She reached out to us, so we're working with her. And there's an American artist. Her name is Monori. We just did her single release party last month on December 9th. She's very, very, very good. She, the Dream Girls, I remember the movie The Dream Girls. So now the Dream Girls had now the theatrical adaptation of it, where they go to different theaters and actually act that out. So she was one of the singers on the Dream Girls theatrical. She's very, very, very good. You'll be hearing about her soon, hopefully.
That is amazing. That is amazing. And in this journey of 12 years, for you guys to get to the point where you can juggle all this, you have the event, you are now diving into management, you know, you must have had moments where things probably weren't working out. They normally say the first few years of business are normally like the hardest. Was there ever a point that you were like, perhaps a 9 to 5 is not a bad idea?
The interesting thing is we actually do have 9 to 5.
Still juggling,
juggling both. Which is sometimes it's hard to fathom, but you have to stay busy. That's the only way to survive out there. I think sometimes people have a misconception that stuff comes easy. Umenda stato between raisi. I think people now know that's not the case. There's nothing ever easy in life. So you have to hustle. And that's pretty much what we do. From the business angle, just to answer your question, yes, there's definitely tons of times where we're like, what are we doing, dude? Like, I remember we had in 2005 we actually brought in Kofi Olomide when it was now big. Those, like we were talking about earlier off air, how big Lingala was. And we brought him into Chicago for an event. The event was dope. Like we had dope by American standards. If you have over 500 people at your event, you were killing it.
Because there's so many.
Because there's so many other things. There's so many other things going on now. To bring in 500 plus Africans into like a club or a concert hall or whatever, you're doing a really good job. So we had a dope event, but we lost a lot of money. Like, I went back home and I'm just like scratching my head. I'm like, what am I going to do? Like literally, I'm like, I after that event, I went home. I remember I didn't sleep. I went back home like the event was on a Friday. This is now Saturday. So after I got home about 7 a.m. and I slept for 19 hours straight.
Out of depression.
You just don't know what to yourself. You have to give yourself a coffee Olomide.
What just happened?
Or what just happened? So I mean, that's just an example. I mean, there's nothing. It's always ups and downs. I mean, the only thing that I would say is you have to believe in your vision. And you have to trust your instincts, because there's tons of times where I'm like, I know what my vision is or what our vision is, and I I always seem to have this gut instinct. It's like, okay, this is what you should do. And generally, I'd say majority of the time that turns out to be correct. It might not be that way for most of the people, but the advice I can give them only based on my experiences is trust your gut instincts and trust your vision and just trust in your talents, especially for the artists out there listening. They may, some people might not be too confident in what they're doing or have this, or they may have a grand idea, but they think it's impossible.
Yeah.
You still have to pursue your dream, essentially, because nothing comes easy.
Yeah, trust the process, man, and trust your gut. I'm at 4 to 9, and you're hanging out with Adele Onyango and Shafi, and we have DJ Topdonn in studio with us. Shout out to Mos, who's saying, trusting your instincts is key. That's my take home from DJ Topdonn. You're taking people to school. However, if we could go back in the day and you could have a convo with 18-year-olds, don't disclose how many years we're going back, but 18-year-old DJ Topdonn, what would you tell him?
I'm gonna have to think hard about it. Quite honestly, I don't think I'd change much. I would obviously save more.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing. If you're stacking paper, save that paper. I mean, trust me, save that paper. Invest in what you're doing. Invest in your craft. Sharpen up your craft. Whatever you're good at doing, don't take it for granted. Still work on that talent. Sharpen it up to be the best you can be, because there's no limit to where your talent can take you.
Yeah.
So I would actually definitely advise myself to just hone your craft to the best of your ability and the best of what God has given you.
Yeah, and save, Mazi. That's when we save. I think every time I'm paying my bills, I'm just like, hey, if I had only saved.
Save and invest. You have to invest any money that you get back on your business. You have to invest back into it.
Yeah.
And not invest back into it, and also invest in other things that can generate money for you. Let your money work for you.
Yeah.
So that's definitely what I do, because at that point when you're 18, you're not in that mind frame.
Yeah.
You do your first gig and you get $550. You're like, yo, I'm loaded. Yeah. That's so
make it rain.
Yeah, turn up. No. So you have to think long term. It's very hard being at that age to think that way, but it takes people like us to advise and say, we've been down that path.
Yeah.
This is what you can do.
It pays off. And then finally, before you leave us, if there are artists who are listening and they feel like they're the artists that you're looking for, they want to work with Aphrodisiac, how can they contact you guys? How can they reach out?
On social media, I am at Topdonn on all fronts. TOPDONN. So hit me up on Twitter, Insta, whatever you're comfortable with. You can also check out our website, aphrodisiacmanagementgroup.com. We have all the info out there. Our CV is what we've done. I think we've done quite a bit, and we're still looking to do more.
Yeah.
And that's actually one of the reasons why I was here. So we've been looking around and seeing who can we actually work with, who can we partner with, things like that, because there's opportunities out there.
Yeah.
There's definitely opportunities to get your music heard. And
which artist was on your radar? Sorry, which artist? I'm sorry.
It's 10 days later. Yes, I'm sure you've spotted someone.
I can't disclose.